So, as of October the 6th, 2020, we are at 7,458,550 confirmed cases in the U.S. of people that have coronavirus. And as of deaths, it is 210,192. And people that have recovered is at 2,935,142 and 51 today, 51. So more people who have recovered. And so, but there has been an additional 398 that have passed due to the virus and an additional 40,705 who have contracted, along with added to the totals of more than 7 million confirmed cases in the U.S. And so this has been a very serious disease, and it is not a joking matter. So people have died. Many people have died. Many people have contracted it. Many people have gotten sick. There has been recovery, but I've heard from doctors that have spoke about this that even with recovery, there is long-term damage to the lungs. There might even be impairment of other body functions like the brain, memory, and list of other things that they're discovering from people who have contracted the virus. And so I saw this article because Donald Trump made a comment to people to not be afraid of the virus. And so I thought it would be fitting to read how many people have, in fact, contracted and died of this virus. And so everybody's body is different. Some people may be able to deal with illnesses longer, or they may be able to fight off the illness a little bit more effectively than the next person. But who wants to get in line and find out? I don't think anybody in their right mind would want to get in line to find out how they're going to fare if they contract COVID-19. So, however, people who have firsthand experience in this virus, or they've had loved ones to die of this virus, do not want to hear, don't be afraid of the virus. That's a slap in the face. And especially coming from a neighborhood where there's poverty, people don't have as much access to health care. Maybe they don't have any health care at all, and they're in marginalized groups. We don't want to hear, don't be afraid to get sick or possibly die. Because getting sick for a person that doesn't have a lot of income is not an option that one would want to take, especially if they have to feed their families and they have limited resources. So, however, you do have people who maybe they have a little more money, but they're still not able to weather this disease because they may end up succumbing to this disease. There has been many people who have lost loved ones, and they don't want to hear, don't be afraid of COVID-19. So Amanda Kloots calls Trump's "Don't be afraid of COVID" tweet disgraceful and hurtful. And this is by Susie Bernay. And so this is an editor out of Yahoo Entertainment. So many celebrities have criticized also Donald Trump's tweet, "Don't be afraid of COVID" tweet. And so as he left the hospital, and this was on a Monday, but one cuts especially deep, and it's from Amanda Kluge's wife of the late Nick Cordero. So the professional dancer and fitness pro left a single mother after the Broadway actor died from COVID-19 in July. Tries to stay positive and not get political. Okay. However, she couldn't stay silent after seeing Donald Trump's tweet telling Americans to not be afraid of COVID or let it dominate your life. So the 74-year-old politician who is obese also claimed he miraculously feels better than he did 20 years ago after receiving experimental coronavirus treatment. So, addressing these families of the now more than 210,000 Americans who have died from COVID-19, Klutz wrote on Instagram, "I stand by you, with you holding your hand." So this is Donald J. Trump at Real Donald Trump on Twitter tweet. "I will be leaving the Great Walter Reed Medical Center today at 6:30 p.m. Feeling really good. Don't be afraid of COVID. Don't let it dominate your life. We have developed under the Donald Trump administration some really great drugs and knowledge, so I feel better than I did 20 years ago." And so to all over 208,000 Americans who have lost loved ones to the virus, I stand with you holding your hand. Unfortunately, it did dominate our lives, didn't it? It dominated Nick's family's lives and my family's lives. I guess we let it, like it was our choice. Unfortunately, not everyone is lucky enough to spend 2 days in a hospital. I cried next to my husband for 95 days watching the COVID as it did to the person I love. And it is something to be afraid of after you see the person you love the most die from this bragging and from this disease. You would never say that this tweet says what this tweet says. There is no empathy to all the lives lost. He is bragging instead. So it is sad, so it is hurtful, and it is disgraceful. So this is by Amanda Klutz. So let me read it again. To all the over 208,000 Americans who lost loved ones to this virus, I stand by you, with you, holding your hand. Unfortunately, it did dominate our lives, didn't it? It dominated Nick's family's lives and my family's lives. I guess we let it, like it was our choice. Unfortunately, not everyone is lucky enough to spend 2 days in the hospital, so I cried next to my husband for 95 days watching what COVID-19 did to the person I love. So it is something to be afraid of. After you see the person you love the most die from this disease, you would never say what this tweet says. There is no empathy to all the lives lost. He is bragging instead, and it is sad, it is hurtful, and it is disgraceful. So she continued, unfortunately, it did dominate our lives, didn't it? It dominated Nick's family's lives. I guess we let it, like it was our choice. And so Klutz went on to write, unfortunately, not everyone is lucky enough to spend 2 days in the hospital, referring to President Trump, who was admitted Friday and went out for a joyride to wave to his supporters and was discharged on Monday. So I cried next to my husband for 95 days watching COVID-19, what it did to the person that I love. So it is something to be afraid of. And so this is Amanda Klutz and her former husband who succumbed to COVID-19. recently this year in July. And so I love you so much, baby. It's been 3 months today since you've passed. So the fifth will always be a bit tough for me. Not a day goes by that you aren't thought about and missed. So Nick passed away 3 months ago, but COVID-19 took my husband April the 1st, which is 7 months ago. And so I realized that the other day. So Elvis and I lost him 7 months ago. And once he went on the ventilator, he never came back. So it's weird to think we've been on our own for that long already. Please wear a mask. Please continue to be taking this seriously. So she ended by calling the president's message disgraceful. So after you see the person you love the most die from the disease, you would never say this in a tweet, she wrote. So there is no empathy to the lives lost. He's bragging instead, and it is sad, it's hurtful, and it's disgraceful. So Cordero died July the 5th at age 41. The super fit Broadway singer and dancer who was hospitalized for COVID-19 March 30 was never released. Klutz shared updates throughout the experience, and we saw that if you were watching and following this couple on the news. She did. She shared experiences of what her husband was going through, and it was very sad to the very end. And so, as he was put on the ventilator, endured many surgeries, including having a leg amputated, she was told several times during the ordeal to say her final goodbyes, but he fought in the hospital for 95 days. And so this is Amanda Klutz and this is their son. Or their son off to the races. I decided to make Sunday's Family Day where I take Elvis, her little son, somewhere new and fun. California has so much to offer, and I wanted to take advantage of it. So today my friend invited us to see horses and watch races at Santa Anita Park. Turns out Elvis loves horses as much as his mommy. And so this is the picture of her and her son, Elvis. He's cute. But anyway, Klutz is now the sole parent of a baby boy, Elvis, who has turned 1 in June. And so basically that's how this ends. So this is really sad. So she lost her husband. This is her profile on Twitter. So she lost her husband due to COVID-19. So there are many stories like this that are very sad. And for Donald Trump to say this in his tweets, that's how you know that he's far removed from society of what people have experienced. You know, his experience might be a lot different. We don't really know, but he is in contact with the makers of the medicine. He knows how to get access to the great doctors there are out there, and he would probably be, if I'm assuming, if not the first, or one of many of the first, to get the better access to good, great health care. And I don't know what his outcome or his prognosis is going to be in the end, whether it be better or worse. But there are a lot of people, however, there are a lot of people that don't have access to the healthcare resources that he would. And so for him to come out and say, don't be afraid, when people are working in jobs, struggling to pay their bills and rent, they don't know if they're going to get evicted from their homes. They don't know if they come in contact with this disease, if they're going to even keep a job, because some people who get sick may not can work jobs because they're a high risk, they can infect other workers. depending on what job that they work at. Um, and then if they get infected, you don't know if they're going to be able to survive or if they're going to, in fact, be the next one to die of this fatal disease. And so it is something for people to be concerned about if they don't know how their outcome is going to be, because it is unpredictable. We can't predict who's gonna make it and who's not gonna make it, and how their system or their body's gonna react to this disease if they do come in contact with it. So it seems to be insensitive and not really thinking on the level of what about people who don't have access to the medical facilities that he does and don't have the money. And I've heard stories where people have just to get a test done, they had to pay a bill to get the rapid response for these COVID tests. And so that one while they were having trouble getting the results in a timely manner. So, and during that time period, you could be potentially infecting people, not even knowing it. So there's so many people, if you just look at this, that have come in contact with it. We don't know if these people are, they could be at your workplace, they could be in your neighborhood, they could be in your family, um, and they could be just people on the street that you may come in contact with. You don't know which one has this, and you don't know if you're going to survive it. You don't know if you're going to be like Amanda Kluge's husband, where you're going to be in the hospital fighting for, 90 days, 95 days, and that you could die of this. And so he's 74 years old, Donald Trump, and he's a politician, and he's obese, and somehow he's able to fare to some degree. He's making light of this. Of course, I mean, he's the president still. He has good, health care benefits. He has more money. He is around people who are, he has access to doctors. Everybody doesn't have that. And then even those people who are able to have good doctors, they have money to pay for medicines. You still don't know if you're going to come out of this in a good way. You could still die. You don't know if you're going to survive. So it's unpredictable. So everybody's body, is not the same. And so what one person may have a good prognosis, the next person may be really horrible. It may go from maybe fine to worse. So I agree with Amanda Cruz. This was insensitive. It was disgraceful based on the people who are people who have either succumbed to this, they've gotten sick themselves, and it's been hard for them, or they've lost loved ones. So you have to think about and take into consideration what other people's struggles are when it comes to this virus. And so to be a president, the leader of the free world, and to just say things like this, you have to think before you talk about what you're talking about, because there are a lot of people who are in poor countries or they're in poor cities and neighborhoods in the U.S. that don't have the luxuries that the president has of being able to stay in the hospital for 2 days, or being able to have all these people attend to you as soon as you got it, you got your results, they rushed you right away into medical care. That could have all the reason why his outcome, if it is going to be positive, that may have all the difference as the reason why he comes out of this. If he does, we don't know. Um, Here you got other people, they may not can be rushed to the hospital right away. Maybe they can't stay in the hospital 2 days.
maybe they don't even get to get access to a doctor. And then by the time they do get into the hospital, it's, far too late. So there's a lot of factors that I don't think that he's really considered. So having said this, I'm gonna let this go, but this is gonna make an impact too on the elections. To the other thing, I feel like such a fatal disease is being politicized to the extent to where people don't even take it serious. They're using it as a weapon to basically say, oh, see, the president got it, he got out of the hospital, but see how dangerous that is? It it's backfiring because what'll happen is people who don't have good health care, who don't have good access to medicines such as he does, more people could die of this. Watching him have these large rallies, these large conferences and meetings, gatherings, hearings to try to push and force this lady into Ruth Bader's position. Do you see the? Did you see the photo of the new woman that they were trying to put in SCOTUS? Um, they were trying to put her in SCOTUS, and I may not even said her name um, correctly. Um, just trying to find it. Usually it'll pop up. What was sad about this whole thing? Oh, I'll have to change it. So you have this woman, Coney Barrett. That's what I was trying to get her name. Do you see her right here? Now I'm gonna bring her up. She's the nominee, Amy Coney Barrett, and she said she had coronavirus earlier this year. Okay, so Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett already had coronavirus earlier this year and had recovered. So the Washington Post first reported, and CNN confirmed it. So several high-profile figures who attended her nomination event on September 26 has since tested positive for COVID-19, including President Donald Trump. Senator Mike Lee, Notre Dame president, that was a Republican of Utah, Notre Dame president, Reverend John I. Jenkins, were also at this ceremony in the White House Rose Garden announcing Barrett's nomination to replace the Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and have since tested positive for the virus, as has the White House advisor Hope Hicks, and also Nick Annie. She tested positive as well. So Barrett tested negative for COVID-19 on Friday, according to the White House. So Supreme Court nominee had tested positive for the virus this summer, unnamed officials told the Post, but later recovered. So an unnamed friend told Time and Barrett that Barrett had been sick with a mild symptom and had quarantined. So the Center of Disease Control and Prevention reports that people who have had coronavirus and recovered may be protected from the virus for up to about 3 months, if not longer. Um, so how or whether senators will hold Barrett's nomination hearing scheduled for the start of 10 days remains in question. So the question is who will replace the late Justice Ginsburg, who died September 18,
has dramatic implications. So the court is now split between 3 liberal justices and 5 conservatives. So if Trump is able to get another conservative justice confirmed, that would cement conservatives' hold on the nation's most powerful court. And so Ginsburg's last wish dedicated or dictated, that is, to her granddaughter just days before her death was reportedly that she not be replaced until a new president is installed. Okay, so are they following that? No, they're trying to rush this other lady in there, Amy Barrett. And so on Friday morning, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell tweeted that the chamber is going full steam ahead with Barrett's nomination process. And so they couldn't wait to get this lady in there. And they were trying to push for it. And so Amy Coney Barrett and her husband tested positive for coronavirus this summer, according to reports. And so this was 2 days ago, I think, that this was printed out. And so do you see how close she's standing to President Donald Trump? And I think this was just before he actually turned up positive. So they say that maybe that's why she didn't end up with it, because she already had it. And so she had the mild symptoms, so she's protected, I guess, from it as some immunity, possibly. So it's just sad that all of this is happening, but getting back to what is going on here, there's been a lot of laws, a lot of things they're trying to turn back the hands of time, basically turn back the clock and make his claim good, that make American great again, which really wasn't great for all Americans. Not all. And so this is not surprising to me to see this right here that he had tweeted. It's, sad that this couple is now, this guy, he died at the age of 41, which is real young, and left a wife and a child behind. And this is how Donald Trump views coronavirus, that, he can just get through it and it's easy for him, yet it is not easy for everyone else who has lost loved ones to this or has succumbed to this virus. And so Amanda Klutz, has basically pointed that out. And then here you've got Donald Trump. They are trying to rush in this Amy Coney Barrett because they want to basically change things and make it hard. Make it hard for most Americans is what that is. And so in terms of abortion rights, there's a lot of things that could be, pretty much overturned by moving people in that have these ideas. So anyway, I'm going to let this video go. So this is sad, and I agree with Amanda Klutz because it's insensitive. It's showing a level of where there's no empathy for people who have different circumstances under this terrible virus, which a lot of people are not feeling this because with Trump, because they feel like he downplayed the virus. Had he not have done that and mobilized people in positions, so if many people had knew to wear a mask and protect themselves early on, maybe it would have avoided as much death as has occurred already. So gonna let this video go. Like, comment, subscribe, and thank you for listening. Just take a look, keep your eyes open. Look at how he looks. He's already on TV. He's saying he's back in the White House. Is it even safe to be there? I've heard that many journalists are sick with this. His top aides, some of them have come down with the virus. It just seems like it's an outbreak. It's a super spreader event. I guess it was the hearing they had for this lady they were trying to bring in for this position. Um, and so none of this looks good at all. But anyway, having said that, like, comment, subscribe, and thank you for listening.